Morning, good evening, good afternoon to all our friends, new and old, from all over the world. Our topic for today is how to overcome today's challenges in the F&B industry. Today, I have the pleasure of interviewing Mr. Ken Wong on our Live Life Dream webinar series to share his experiences helping F&B businesses succeed and thrive in their very competitive industry. Just to share with you some background about Mr. Ken Wong. Mr. Ken Wong has over 15 years experience with North American multinational companies dealing with information technology, telecommunications, and medical equipment. And he worked primarily in sales and customer service. In the last 6 years, he has been focused on providing training and workshops in sales and customer service for the F&B industry and the FMCG industry by leveraging on his experience. Hi, Ken. Welcome to the show. How are you today?
Hi, J.K. Thanks for having me today.
Okay. Ken, can you share us a little about what you do as a business consultant to the F&B industry and FMCG industry?
Sure, I'll be glad to. Basically, there are mainly two aspects of my role as a business consultant. Right, number one is, I will provide consultancy to the F&B operators, the retail operators.
Mm-hmm.
Usually whenever they have some gaps, in service delivery, product delivery, and of course,
Customer service.
in the operating environment of their service crew. This is number one aspect. The other main aspects of my role is to provide workshops and training programs, right, to help them, particularly the service crew and staff, right, to upgrade the skills and how to bring it up to speed and address, the lack or the gap that they did not perform as well and during the operating environment.
Yeah, I also understand that you also use design thinking methodology to help the service crew empathize with their customers, right, to better understand their requirements.
Oh, sure. Design thinking is definitely, is a useful tool, right, that we apply, especially when you do the evaluations, of their needs, in the training areas. Yeah, okay. Certainly this is helpful.
Okay. Can you share with us a little about the experience you had with businesses and what do you think are the top 3 business challenges and issues faced by these businesses?
Well, I think if you talk about the broad specs, I would say that generally, people will agree with me. The 3 aspects are high rental costs, labor shortage, and the other one is doing a promotional reach out to their customers, mm-hmm. Right? Yeah.
And what possible solutions do you think you can recommend to help them solve those challenges?
Well, this is going to be a broad issues, but generally I think to address the high rental costs, all right, I would say maybe I would recommend these 3 strategies. Number one, we can increase sales by diversifying our product portfolio to cater to more customers. Right, and number 2, we can consider to right size our store operating area or mm-hmm. shift to a more cost-effective location. Number 3, we can streamline or reduce our operational costs to help us boost our bottom line. That's number 1 for the high rental cost. And the other one about the labor shortage. Nowadays labor is certainly tight.
Yeah.
And a couple of ways we can look at, to address this labor shortage issue. Number 1, all right, for our existing staff and also, the staff that we're going to hire on board, we can certainly look into equipping our staff with better quality training. That's number 1, right, in several areas: service excellence, sales techniques, customer engagement, product knowledge. So I think this is the 4 broad categories that we should focus and emphasize into. All right, and the other one is we have to create, as the F&B or a retail operator, right, to create career development opportunities by giving staff more responsibilities in promoting sales and taking ownerships in the service excellence and service recovery, right? And last but not least, we also have to remember the other aspects is about the deployment of technology and automation process. For example, we can even install a self-service kiosk to help staff focus on the more sales-generating activities. Yep.
Okay, great. And I also understand that you recently completed a learning and development program for a large casual restaurant chain in Singapore. So can you tell us a little bit more about the workshop engagement?
Okay. Just to give you a little bit background of the project that I had worked on for the past, it's an 18 months program, right? I have worked with this particular, fast casual chain outlet operators, right? They have, I think, easily more than over 350 staff, all right? Service crew they have on the ground. And also they have about 40 to 50 outlet managers and supervisors. Okay, there are a few aspects that we train them. All right, the first and foremost, we are looking into the standard operating procedures, the SOP, of what they have been doing in the outlet level in terms of product knowledge, in terms of the culinary skills. So it's quite a broad-based aspects.
Hey Ken, so what did you learn from the training and workshop that you did with this large casual restaurant chain in Singapore?
Well, I think I do learn, a lot, and there's a lot of takeaway personally as a trainer and as a consultant.
Yeah.
But by and large, I think, I can categorize into about 3 or 4 points. Right. Number one is, I think definitely it's very important, especially if you are running, a multiple chain outlets operation, to really have an effective operational system in place with well-documented standard operating procedures, right? Just to ensure consistency in our product and service delivery, right? That's first and foremost important, right? The second thing is you must have a good team of outlet managers and supervisors with strong people management skills so that they're able to lead and guide the junior staff better according to the SOP. All right. And thirdly, I would say that having an innovative manual definitely helps, right, to stay relevant to the business, to attract new customers, and having a great competitive advantage over your competitors. All right. And last but not least, one of the things that I think is certainly important is about doing a right pricing strategy, right? So that we can target the right customer groups in the right market segment, right? For example, maybe we can even have a good, better, best, pricing strategy, whereby 3 styles of the same dish can be offered on the menu at 3 different pricing points, right? So that we can cater to different groups of customers with different budget points as well. Yep.
Can you give an example of that? I think that was a good idea.
You see, sometimes, I would say that it will be easier for people to make decisions and choices, and that's what they like as well, right? If, for example, maybe if they have let's say a chicken dish,
yeah,
right? So maybe for a good, a lower price point, maybe we have a cooked chicken leg with some fries,
right,
and some simple garnishing, right? Maybe at the midpoint, which is the the better pricing strategy, we can have a chicken leg, maybe together with some maybe some, what do you call it?
mashed potato, frosty or something.
Mashed potato, yeah, that will actually, help you to set a slightly higher pricing point. And maybe, you can bring it up further up, whereby we can combine some seafood, together with your chicken leg. So so you see that here you have a different, combinations, different combo, and yet we have the same base meal, which is the chicken leg. So this will actually give you the different flavor, with different combinations, and with that, I think you will also cater to different customers, choices as well.
Yeah, I think that's a great strategy. Okay. So in other words, for example, if I think back about what you said earlier, you talk about rental costs, so you overcome it by right sizing your operations, right? That means if it's high rental, then you overcome by looking for alternatives, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
You're right.
And
JK.
I also heard that you have trained F&B staff of many nationalities. What have been your experience so far?
Well, I think first and foremost, training staff of different nationalities certainly has its fair share of challenges, especially if all this staff or crew, right, they don't come from English-speaking background, right? So it comes to a point whereby, at times we might have to explain to them in a slower pace, or maybe have to repeat ourselves, on a couple of occasions. So I think these are the things that we have to be, first of all, as a trainer, have to be, patient. All right, I think patience is and understanding as well. This will actually help us to, build a rapport, all right, with our learners, so that they're able to understand better, and in the process, they're able to also proceed together and forward as a group. Because I think learning is definitely is a group effort as well, especially when you're running a F&B or retail operation, where this is certainly teamwork, right?
Yeah, and I guess also you have to reaffirm what are the training by actually asking them to show you back, or you actually demonstrating what you're teaching, right?
Yeah, especially when we come to F&B training, right? It's just not just purely structured classroom training, because how about I expect certainly is also practical training as well.
Mm-hmm.
So in those practical sessions, they are required and expected, to perform and carry out hands-on, performance of how, for example, how do they cook a dish, a steak, or make a nice cup of coffee or tea. So these are the important aspects that we expect the trainers, the learners, to be part of the learning process and environment. And from the trainer's perspective, we are also expecting the learners to be committed, right, to the whole training program, so that everybody will able to benefit most out of the program. Yeah.
Okay, very good. So thanks for your time, Ken, and look forward to seeing you again.
No, my pleasure, JK. All right, I will catch up again. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.